Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and this is my video about what's wrong with Shang-Chi. Now usually I just do a regular review, but this one I have a thesis, and I'm trying to prove it. And my thesis is that Shang-Chi is the worst MCU movie out there. Now there's some problems. I haven't seen all of the MCU movies. I haven't seen the latest Thor, although I think it just went on to Disney Plus. And I haven't seen Doctor Strange, which I think is also there. So I'm not talking about the streaming shows, I'm just talking about the movies. And I'm not going to bury the lead. It's because of excessive, one might say infinite, mediocrity. So before I start, I have not seen this movie in an ideal way to watch a movie before you review it. I watched about half of it, and I was just so sick of it, it got put into the category of, I will finish this eventually. And then I was trying to watch Elvis on HBO Max last night, and I guess the servers were overloaded because everything else worked, like the making of, the behind the scenes, all that stuff worked. Other movies worked, but Elvis didn't work. So I went back to my Fire Stick, currently watching, and I was like, oh geez. I'm like halfway through with Shang-Chi, let me just go finish it. So I did finish it. And one of the reasons I quit is because there's a middle part that is not entirely flashbacks. Although, is it really a flashback if you light it exactly the same and don't make it clear that it's a flashback? Like, you have to notice that the father, his wig has less gray in it. And you're like, okay, we're in the past. So Shang-Chi is about not Shang-Chi. Not only is the Shang-Chi character called Sean, and he acts nothing like any iteration of the first 35, 40 years of the character, who is basically Bruce Lee. Marvel wanted to make a Bruce Lee comic, so they did. They just called it Shang-Chi, so they didn't have to get permission. So they got to phase 4. They're like, okay, we did all of our A-list characters, and they started kind of looking around for the weirder ones. Now, when Shang-Chi was announced, I remember everyone was pretty excited. It's like, oh, didn't expect that. It's like, oh, cool, they're going to do a really gritty, street-level martial... No, it's going to be jokesies and dragons and product placement and really bad CGI, really bad green screen, horrible, garbage-tier MCU humor. So the story is, it's current day, it's San Francisco, and Sean is parking cars at a hotel along with his friend. I think her name was Katie. It's Awkwafina. And I know everyone just went like, oh, Awkwafina? Yeah, it's Awkwafina. Yeah, I guess it's 2016 and we're just capturing the zeitgeist. Every time you watch a Marvel movie and you're like, why is this person in there? It's because they started production like 6 years ago. Not even a joke. Man, that freaking Black Adam, I know it's not MCU, they started production on that like 15 years ago. So you're like, why is Awkwafina in a Marvel movie? Because she was really hot in 2016 when they first started having meetings about this. So Sean is parking cars and, oh man, he's just not living up to his potential. I'm like, you guys turned Shang-Chi into Peter Parker? So we do get one actually good action scene. Sean versus Razor Fist in a cable car in San Francisco. Good little sequence, storyboarded probably 3 years before the director was hired. I looked up the director. The only thing that matters is that he's Asian. That's the only thing that mattered to Marvel. This guy brings absolutely nothing to the table. I have never seen a lead. And remember, they made a huge deal. This is the first Asian lead of a Marvel movie. Not really, no. It's the first ensemble movie with mostly Asians. I would definitely qualify it as that. I have never seen a main character in any movie so degraded, so diminished, so diluted. At one point there are many scenes of it's like, oh, 1,000 years ago, a dragon said this. Like, I'm not talking 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. There's about 10 of those scenes. And here's the other thing. Except for a couple of the fights, which again were storyboarded years before the director was hired, every scene is directed at the same pace. The chilling with the friends at a dinner scene has the same pacing of, the murder of the mom, the revenge of the father. Like, it is just even. There's an even pace. You're like, what the hell? This is like filmmaking 101. That things need to rise and fall and pace needs to speed up and slow down. No, it's just it's like a freaking box fan. The lead is diminished constantly. Anytime there's a problem, a woman solves it or tells him how to solve it. At one point, he's about to go fight his father, who has the 10 rings, which gives him, let's just say, a variable amount of power. But typically, if you wear the 10 rings, you can fight, I don't know, at least 20 people at once. So he goes to fight. They're in this big, scrum where it's like the 10 rings, which is the father's organization, versus, I forget what the organization of the aunt. There are so many family members and nobody has any personality. So Shang-Chi, I forget why it was decided that he alone would go take on his father and they wouldn't just like, hey, we got these hang gliders and all the soldiers are going to go over there and do an air assault. It's like, no, it's got to be you. Which, by the way, they decided that Shang-Chi had a sister who was just as good at him, actually slightly better. It doesn't make any sense that they didn't go over there together or just send a sister who's great at everything. So Shang-Chi is having trouble with Razor Fist. He basically can't get past him. And then his sister goes over and just like a couple moves, like, all right, I got him. You go. It's like, no, he couldn't fight like the henchman. The freaking henchman was freaking giving Sean the work. If the sister can go over and in 3 little moves, just take care of him. But I would say the main problem was the constant diminishment of Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is, I don't know, mid-30s, the actor. That's another thing. That actor, totally not right. I know he got in shape, for a day, for a photo shoot, but he looks like what he is. A sitcom actor who was cast in a Marvel movie, because when they were casting it, they had an interview with him in Entertainment Weekly or whatever, and they're like, oh, let's get this guy from this Canadian sitcom, because he's Asian, and he's the first person I thought of. So not right for this. At one point in like the 5th, like, this is what happened 1,000 years ago. He has his hands in his pockets. Not a good look for the main character of an action movie. And this scene goes on for, it was probably only 5 minutes. It felt like at least 10. And then I was like, these shoots on these Marvel movies, they're going to shoot for like 3 months, active shooting, and then maybe do a couple weeks to a month of, pickups. So I was like, this actor might have literally been on the set with his hands in his pockets. I'm not talking like off to the side. I'm like actively being filmed in a scene. Hands in pockets, not talking for an entire week of his life. And that's, that right there could be my review of Shang-Chi. Typical trash Marvel MCU humor. They bring back Trevor Ben Kingsley from Iron Man 3. Who was amazing when he was given good dialogue and good action scenes. And he is not. He is completely wasted here. Absolutely wasted. Awkwafina is painful. And they do all the cliche things. She's like, oh, I never knew what I wanted to be in life. And then she literally has like, oh, maybe I will be a warrior. It's like, you can't be a warrior. She literally just said she quits on everything she ever did in her life. Also, she has half of the upper body strength of literally every man. And also, they're going to battle in like a day. So the guy, the mean man, has literally every reason in the world to tell her, put down that bow. You're just going to break it or freaking scratch it. Go away. Go away. And then an old woman is like, I believe in you because I'm a woman. Awkwafina literally has not even a montage. Not even a montage. One scene of her shooting an arrow, hitting a target and going like, bro, that was cool, dude. Guess who hits the evil dragon right in his vulnerable spot? It's Awkwafina. So then the evil is defeated, although it doesn't seem like anyone involved in the movie was necessary. There was a good dragon that literally just chilled in the water below the gate. that the bad dragon would go through. And it seemed like the good dragon was pretty much stronger than the evil dragon, just needed a little help. And there was an entire village of warriors who literally just parked there, you know, right across the water from the gate. And their whole job was to guard the gate. It literally feels like nobody from America, you know, the hero, for some reason they decided to make Awkwafina the love interest, but not really. Just, oh, so bad. Infinitely mediocre. So then we have like a trash little comedy scene at the end where they're telling like their friends, oh, we fought a dragon. They're like, what? That's incredible. You live in the Marvel universe. You were literally invaded by aliens like 10 years ago, and you can't believe that dragons are real. I know some people are going to say, well, how are you proving it's like the worst? You said bad things that happen in almost every other Marvel movie. This had none of the deep lows of other bad Marvel movies, but it also had none of the highs. Like, just literally, I think, oh, there's a fight like on scaffolding that was actually pretty cool. Again, storyboarded 3 years before the director was hired. So kudos to you, storyboard artist in 2017 who, geez, it was probably even earlier than that. But I'm saying because of its infinite mediocrity, that it is actually worse than the other bad Marvel movies. So anyway, thanks for watching.